My goodness, here we are already at week 2. We spent time talking about the differences between coach, mentor, and advisor last week, and we got to know each other. And wasn't that fun? We have some really interesting people doing some interesting things in this class, and I know you haven't shared everything that you're doing that is going to be so important and interesting to your colleagues here in this class. So I'm looking forward to getting to know you even better. This week, we're going to move to identifying your why, your motivation, your mission. We often use schemas, heuristics, which heuristics are rules of thumb, that help us to come to a conclusion really fast. But that's not always the conclusion that we want to stay with, because those shortcutted conclusions might not be grounded in our most deeply held value, our why. This week, Sinek is talking about his golden circle, which begins with why. Why is in the center. The interesting thing about having why, again, your most deeply held value in the center, is that you can't get to it by asking why. Why is that? Okay, let's talk about why. Consider your responses if someone asks you directly why. It's almost like they're pointing a finger at you. For example, if your boss says, "Why did you choose that decision?" Or if your significant other, after you chose a new chair or a new couch or a new dress or a new suit, your significant other says, "Hey, hon, why'd you choose that one?" Well, suddenly you feel like you have to justify what your choice was, why you chose the way you chose. So asking why feels like you're being accused. Well, let's talk about it in a different way. Let's ask, for example, what? So in the same things, what were you thinking about? What were the things that you were considering when you chose that chair? What were the criteria? Are you seeing that it fits in the room in such a way? Then if you get at the what does it get you by having the red chair rather than the blue one? Then we find out more about the reason, the motivation, and the value behind the decision, and more about the why behind the decision. So we're talking about connection. We're talking about getting at that underlying value, that motivation, that intrinsic why. So that's what we're going to be doing with the activity in this class. The activity is to create your personal mission, your why. And so you'll go through a number of questions, think about a number of different things as you create your personal why. We want something that feels congruent, that feels aligned with the other values you hold, that really captures those values. And genuinely, as you walk around with that why, it feels like this is who I am. At my deepest sense, it is the gifts which I offer the world. It is my identity, my value in being. So think about that as you create your personal mission. And notice that you'll be able to adjust it to fit more closely your why. And so each week we're going to have a coaching leading strategy, activities, and participation ways. The coaching strategy this week, of course, is getting at the why, the motives. And we're going to have essential questions Those are going to come from the coaching habit text, the Bengay Stinner coaching habit text. So if you haven't gotten it yet, I highly encourage, I know it's only recommended and not required, but seriously, I highly encourage you getting this very quick read, because you will use it as a resource. Have it close at hand for much of your career. So we're going to, last week we had the kickstart question, what's on your mind? So when a person darkens your doorway, your colleague is right there to ask you a question, you want to come back with not, can you schedule that for a later time, or gosh, I'm really busy. You want to come back with, what's on your mind? And then ask, and what else? Because people don't always present with the question they really want to ask. So we want to delve more deeply by asking, and what else? It kind of gets at that thing that with the Ginsu knives, but wait, there's more? Yes. And what else? We don't want to give advice. We want to prompt, provoke, catalyze, motivate good questions that our colleagues, the people that we are helping to coach and lead, that they will be asking themselves, so that they have more resources to come to their own right answers. So we've got an activity, we've got coaching questions, and we've got a video to watch this week. So what's our assignment? We've got a required text reading part 2 of Why, and a recommended text, the Bengay Standing or the Coaching Habit, and we want the question masterclass part 2 through the question, the and what else question. Then what are we going to post in the forum this week? We're going to answer our mission. What is your why? What is your team's why? So think about that. And how does your why influence or affect someone else's why? Think about that. If you were to do as Seneca suggests and draw that golden circle with your own why in the center, what represents your how and your what? So that's where we are this week. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the forum. Have a great week. We're in week 2. Enjoy.